Hi, this is my video on how I fully recovered from tinnitus. I've been wanting to make this video for a long time. I've gotten around to it now. I feel obligated as somebody who had a very severe case of tinnitus and is now fully recovered. I want to share with everybody who's got tinnitus, who's just got it, that you will get better. And this is a sort of short video on how I got better. I want to assure everybody that I'm not trying to sell anything. There's no motive. It's just to share with you how to get better. I first got tinnitus about 6 years ago, and it came on very quickly. First of all, I noticed it. I can remember the point I noticed it. I was just walking down the stairs of my house, and I heard ringing and thought, oh, okay. That doesn't sound good, but it wasn't anything that I hadn't experienced before. You know, sometimes you get back from a nightclub and you go to sleep and there's this ringing in your ear. But this started sort of in the middle of the day, and it was a bit unusual. And it kept going for a couple of days and wouldn't go. The worst thing was going to see my GP, and I went to see a few GPs. There's actually a word for it, and it's called negative reinforcement. So when you get tinnitus and you go and see your GP, the chances are they're a GP who had training, 5 minutes worth of training on tinnitus 20 years ago, and the ideas were very old. I was told that I would not get better and that I had to learn to live with it. That was devastating for me. There was no way I could learn to live with this ringing in my ears. And I say my case was severe. And the more I was told to learn to live with it, the worse it got. And I spiraled into a terrible case of depression, and the tinnitus got worse and worse. There was a point actually where I genuinely believed I couldn't live my life like this, and although I didn't take any action towards sort of ending my life, the thought did sort of I didn't plan on killing myself, but I just didn't know how I could live with this debilitating noise and feeling in my head. It went on for some time, a lot of time actually, and finally I by sheer luck I managed to see a doctor who was very high up in the tinnitus world. It was 6 months after having it, and I went to see this guy, and it was the beginning of the cure for me. I had, previous to meeting him, I had CAT scans and I'd seen loads of GPs, and the answer was always the same, that I damaged my ears and I would have to learn to live with it. I did believe this because I used to be in a band and we used to play loud all the time and rehearse 3 days a week at full volume. And so I believed that if anyone had damaged their ears, I was a likely candidate. However, when I saw this guy, he assured me that it's got nothing to do with the mechanics of the ears, and it's all to do with the brain. And in a nutshell, what he said to me is that my brain had gone into a sort of fight or flight state of mind, where my brain was telling me that I was in danger. Now, I live quite a stressful life. I have a stressful work, but then so do we all. I don't think I'm particularly bad at managing stress, but I know I'm not good at managing stress. So potentially the trigger for me was stress, and we will always have stress in our lives, so we're never going to get rid of stress, but that was the trigger for me, I believe. I also had a head cold at the time, so my head felt stuffy anyway, and I think that contributed to it, a combination of things. But how it's triggered isn't really important, or it wasn't important for how I recovered. It was really speaking to this guy and him revealing that the mechanism of what it is. Now, again, I'll try and explain it in my own words, in simple terms, is that your body goes into a fight or flight state, so it believes it's in danger. So your brain actually generates this ringing tone. For some people, it's not a ringing, it's a washing sound or a whirling sound, or the sound of your own heart beating. I've had a combination of these things, but primarily it was the ringing. And because your brain's telling you you're in danger, it produces this ringing, which is supposed to tell you to get out of this dangerous situation. However, I wasn't really in a dangerous situation, so it's a malfunction with the brain. Now, once once I knew it was my body's way of trying to look after me and telling me that I'm in danger, I could start to accept that the noise wasn't physical. Poking things in my ears wasn't going to help. Cleaning my ears wasn't going to help. Cleaning my nasal passages wasn't going to help. It was just about realizing that this sound was my own body's way of telling me in danger. Now, obviously, I wasn't in danger, so it's a malfunction. So what he told, and the more you hear it, the more panicked you become, and the more these hormones are released in your body, and the louder the ringing became. And again, like when the old GP said get used to it, that was the worst possible advice. I hope some GPs are watching this, because there is a solution, and it's a case of hearing the sound, and there are books on it. Do your own research and find the books, but brain retraining. So the trick is to hear the sound, and once you feel enough courage to just actually let yourself hear it. You spend all your time trying not to hear it, but the trick is to let yourself hear it, but not be in a state of panic. And when your body realizes that this sound isn't a danger, when you start to relax, what happens is very slowly is all the panic hormones and your state of mind, your stress levels start to drop when you hear it. And then you become more comfortable listening to it, and you start to relax, and it's a circle. And the more you can relax hearing it, then, not straight away, but it took a few weeks, it starts to lessen. And I noticed that after a few weeks it got quieter and quieter, and within a few months I was completely better. So that's it, you will get better. And it stopped, and then it started a little bit, and then it stopped, and then a little bit more, and then it stopped, and then it was gone. And I can happily say now that I'm better, and I have a normal life. So I'm also, I believe in God. So for me, my faith helped me to relax and to calm down a bit, and I prayed and meditated. So if you can't be doing the whole God thing, I'm not trying to convert anybody, then you will still get better. But meditation helped me, and when I meditate, sometimes I pray as well. So for me, meditation and prayer. But if you don't believe in God, meditation should do it. And it was one simple meditation that I just sat with my feet on the floor and my hands on my knees and just breathe deeply, just find some quiet time. And I think having your feet just planted on the floor helped to ground me. Right, okay, I hope I haven't mumbled on too much, but again, I do want to say to you, if you're going through it, I've been there and I'm better. And if I can get better, anyone can. So it's a case of don't be afraid of the tinnitus. Trying not to hear it doesn't work. Allowing yourself to hear it and relaxing while hearing it. After a period of time, it gets quieter and quieter, and eventually it disappears. In terms of managing it while you are hearing the ringing, I wouldn't recommend sitting and trying to find the quietest place in the world at all. Not at all. I would have a little bit of gentle music on in the background. Or the sound of the sea is good. I did have a CD player by my bed, and I listened to the sound of the waves. I had a fan on at some point. The noise of a fan helped me. So it's okay to try and drown it out. I think you need that break from it. So do things that drown out the noise by all means. But when you are feeling brave, do sit and let it, sit by an open window, and do let yourself hear the sound, so that you can start to relax when you hear it. And it's a weird thing, by letting yourself hear it, that's when it disappears. So it's a real difficult circle to break, but you will break it, and you will get better. And I think me just hearing that doctor, because I said to him, look, are you just saying that to make me feel better? I know you're not allowed to say but will I get better? And he said, because he was at the top of his game, one of the most reassuring sentences anyone said to me in my life, he said, yes, I can say what I want, and I can tell you, you will get better. And just knowing that helped me get better. So here we go. So I've made this video. I'm going to stick it on YouTube in case anybody's looking for it. I hope if you are looking for it that you find it, and I hope that it helps you. And if it does help you, please let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear more, or if I find that people have heard this video and they want to hear more, there's lots to my story and lots of detailed bits. But in this first video, I just wanted to let you know that you will get better. So trust me, you will get better. And and hopefully when you get better, you'll be able to make a video like this and help everybody else. Because the more the knowledge is that tinnitus isn't to do with damaging the nerves in your ears, which is an old outdated medical idea. The more people realise that it's a malfunction in the brain, and it can be you can retrain your brain not to hear it, then the better, and the less people will suffer from this terrible thing. I do know there are lots of people that have had it for years and years and years, and have there's a word that was always thrown about, habituation, where you habituate to hearing the sound, you get used to it, and so it doesn't affect you. Good if that works for you, but I don't believe it does really. It's nice to be free of it. So please believe me that brain training, or just letting myself hear the sound and not panicking when I heard it, and learning to live with that, worked for me. I'm not a doctor, I don't know if it worked for everybody, but it worked for me. And so I believe that even if you've had it for years and years, I believe that this brain retraining can help you recover as well. Okay, all right. Well, I hope, I know how terrible it is to have this infliction. So I've tried to be delicate with how I've spoken. I do hope it's helped you. Yeah, I welcome any feedback, so I'm going to leave the comments open. Yep, okay, all right, that's it for now. And okay, good luck with it, and you will get better.